So, talked about finals, quarters, grading. Which kid? When is that due? Next class?
Okay, we're gonna go over it next class.
Yeah.
So at the beginning of class, have it all done. Okay.
Quarters, grading, finals, all that stuff. Everything that we talked about, your Spartan time teacher should at least be running you through. At the very least. If not, your other teachers. So, if you're just a little weirded out on like what do I even expect, go ahead and ask. Not during class, so we're like distracting. Even though my conversational tangents still look like a little gerbil on meth. Just try to at least stay on task. Thanks for putting up with that. They don't give me enough time to get stuff done. I didn't get stuff done. Now we got stuff done. Luckily, we only had a little bit of 2-5 left, so we're just going to finish that little bit off, and then we'll have our assignment. Did we do all 6 of these? Like there's problem 2 where we're talking about literal equations. Did we do any of these?
Every single one except
5 and 6 we did not do. Okay, so that's perfect as just a little bit of review before we finish off. The idea is I can solve even when there's no numbers, just like I would anything else. You follow the same process. If they added something, subtract it. If they divided, multiply it. If there's parentheses, maybe you can divide it out of there or distribute. All that stuff is still true, even if there's not our normal numbers there. This is how you rearrange stuff for formulas, and I bet you're already neck deep in formulas in physical science. Okay? You already starting to move those around and like a lot of algebraic requirement. So, let's head back to where we left off. If I want k all by itself, you see how right now k is inside the parentheses? Maybe instead of distributing, I just get rid of the stuff outside the parentheses because I don't want it to be there anyway. So how do I get rid of that x? Oh no, I don't want to distribute. Like I want this gone. X is all hugged up on that parenthesis. Divide, right? If they're multiplying, divide. Divide this guy by x, divide that guy by x. You see how instead of distributing, I'm able to just move it over to the other side already? So now we got a 4 minus k is p over x, and it just stays ugly like that. Like p over x. I can't do anything with that. It just is. It's like rearranging the furniture in your room. I can't take the dresser and slam it into my bed, and now poof, it's a bunk bed. Like, although if you did 2 dressers and then a bed on top, don't do that. It's probably not safe. I still want k by itself, and it's not by itself. Who else has to go away? The 4. What kind of 4 is it? So if that's a positive 4, I'm going to subtract 4. Now I forget, a couple of you I've worked with really liked that just kind of divider line to kind of separate things. If you like it, use it. If you don't, don't. I'm going to put it up here for the kids that like that. All right, that zero's out. If I show that 0, I still see what's still with k. Okay, that's a k. There's a negative k. Are these like terms? P divided by x and a minus 4. So you just leave them as is. P over x minus 4. It's just that nasty. And then it's a negative k. So I can either multiply or divide by a negative 1. Y'all remember math is communist. What you do for one, you do for all. Negative 1, negative 1, negative 1. K is, what's a positive bleh, divided by a negative 1? A negative bleh. So it's a negative P over K. A negative 4 divided by a negative 1. Positive 4. Did I say? Oh. Yeah, it is. Okay. I would like you to try the same thing with 6. I know it's been a while since we did these. Try the same thing with 6, except you're trying to get the y by itself. Add or subtract things, multiply or divide things, just like normal. It's just, it's going to stay ugly over there. Okay? Where's the black marker? Try 6. Argue it out with the neighbors. I want you working together. Well,
Hi.
do we have a problem?
Yeah, I look up where you did practice.
Do I not have chapter 2 packets up there?
No, not right there. Like mine, like actually my packet, mine actually.
Are you the no-name packet?
It might be me.
What about it?
Is that me? I have an extra packet in my notebook.
First rule of kindergarten, don't bite anyone. Second rule of kindergarten, put your name on your paper.
I thought it was. But I kind of couldn't.
Make sure I see that before you go today. What's up? Yes.
And it would be on this side of on the other side, it would be positive.
All right, dude. What is in there? Okay. It looks like old, like 1990s Ecto Cooler High C. So, that'll give me flashbacks. What the bejesus are you doing? What's up?
Did I do that right, or am I missing a couple steps?
We subtracted that. Cool. Divided by that, and it just stays butt ugly. Yeah. There's 2 ways to write it. That's one of them. That is not true. That is extremely not true. All right. I want y by itself. Start by getting rid of the other term if you can. How do I get rid of 7x? Why do I know I subtract it? Okay. This drops. I have 3y equal to, are those like terms? No. So I can either write m minus 7x or I can write negative 7x plus m, right? Because it's a positive m. Now, y is still not by itself. The twee? Okay. So Haven was just asking this. If I get there Am I right? Like, m minus 7x all over 3. Yeah. Is there a different way to write it? Look at what I did over here. I divided each individual term by 3, or by -1. So over here, I could do the same thing. I could divide it by 3, divide it by 3, divide it by 3. So then I'd have y is m over 3 minus 7x over 3. If you remember how fractions work, what number is in front of that m? So I could also write that as y is 1/3 m, and I can bring this x out front, so this is a coefficient of x minus 7/3 x. Womp womp. All 3 of those are correct. I'll take all of them. You're all right. So that's where we left off was, hey, I could move some stuff around, even if it's not pretty, we can still treat it like any other equation. And then we said, hey, y'all remember middle school when you did a bunch of geometry type stuff? Where it was like the perimeter of a rectangle, 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. You add all the way around the rectangle. Yeah?
Yeah, we read it 100 times.
That was our assignment.
The formula.
Oh, I remember that. Was that last week?
Yeah.
So like 100 times.
I just know all the right off the top of my head. Yeah, you can just write the.
Yeah, for Savannah. For 100 times. And remember when I did put my name on it?
Yeah.
That's what I'm
All right. Well, that's not teaching. So anyway, there are a bunch of formulas. Circumference. Do you know what, okay, what are they? Like, what is a circumference? Not area. Perimeter around the circle. Circumference, around. Okay, area of rectangle, length by width. Triangle, half of that, because you can cut any rectangle in half. It is now a triangle. If you do the diagonals. Area of circle, pi r squared. In this room, I want everyone, you got a calculator, find the pi button. I don't care what the book says, we will never use 3.14 or 22/7. We are going to use the pi button. It'll probably be in a second feature, so one of those alternate colors on top of one of your other buttons. If you're trying to use your phone as a calculator, get good scrub.
I got it.
Okay, 3.14159266, right? Okay, so in this one, you get to just keep hitting the button, and it cycles between pi, e, I, pi, e, I.
That's
You,
just stupid.
no, that's amazing.
Kind of smart.
It allows you to cycle between what you need without having to do a second feature. All right. Lock it back in. We don't have much time, and you're getting this assignment no matter what. Distance equals rate times time. That should look very familiar from physical science. Swapping back and forth between Celsius and Fahrenheit, between metric and imperial. This is stuff that we should be doing on a regular basis of physical science anyway, and these are formulas that allow us to do it. So, the last thing that we did was, can you rewrite a formula so that I just plug in the stuff I need? And then, skadoosh, answer. Okay? So they say the radius of a circle with a circumference of. What is the radius? and they say something circumference. So I should write my formula, circumference is 2 pi r. And they asked, what is the radius? So what do I want by itself? R. So what needs to go away? So a 2 and a pi, a 2 and a pi, cancel, cancel. I now know that my radius is circumference over 2 pi. So to find my radius, I'm going to plug in the circumference is 64 feet. Screw you, we're using the button. So I'm going to say 64 over 2 pi. Before I go pressing any buttons, can I simplify that? 64 over 2, right? So this is the official answer. And then we'll use those squiggles for approximately. Now we'll use the calculator, do 32 divided by pi. And it'll be 10 and change. Three places. I don't care what the book says. We're always going 3 places.
186. We have to round.
Ooh, 185 or 186?
186.
Remember, tenths, hundredths, thousandths. Go look at the 10,000ths. 5 and bigger tells you to go up. 0 to 4 tells you stay the same. So, would 186? 10.186 chalupas? 10.186 pesos? 10.186 feet. Okay. Do it again. Do it again. Except now, we're looking for the height of a triangle. Y'all, we got time. Hang in there. Well, what does it say in the problem? Does it say perimeter of a triangle or does it say area of a triangle? Hmm? You have to do second that to get the pi.
Oh no, we were doing it. Big brains. I told you.
All right. You know what? I'm just going to keep talking at the computer. We're going to finish this off. All right, Internet, I'm just talking to you now. What's up?
We had an issue with a kid in the classroom, and I didn't get very much done.
That's fine. We didn't get much done either. I'm still going on the video right now.
Okay, cool. My apologies. I will work on it.
Oh, you're good. You're good. Okay. Yes, the camera is facing this way, not that way. So very last thing is blah, blah, blah. Use a formula, plug it in. Okay. Monarch butterfly, only the one migrates north to south, blah, blah, blah. Distance between them is shown, so they give me a picture. Hey, you're too loud. I'm still talking to the internet. Okay. They ask about distance. Distance is rate times time. And they ask the question, what is the average rate at which something happens? So get the rate by itself. Rate is distance divided by time. And now that I know that's my formula, I'm going to plug in the distance they have and divide it by the time they specifically said 120 days. Divide it out, and you will say about, so what's that, 170, 140, 144, 120, 50, 14 and change, 14 point blah, blah, blah days. Miles? Yeah, miles. Okay, so whatever that is in your calculator, you got 14 points blah, 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 miles per day. All it is, everything you just did, same thing, words. I know you love words. Now we're done.
I just sat here every session.